Convener of this international workshop, Dr. Sunita, convey theme and the objective of this workshop.
Good afternoon to one and all. I heartily welcome you all for this one-week international virtual lecture workshop on new advances in mathematical and computational sciences. Galileo, father of modern science, claimed the book of nature is written in the language of mathematics. That is the importance of mathematics. Mathematics and computer science are two sides of the same coin. First, mathematics provides the theoretical basis for many subfields of computer science and important analytical tools for others. Discrete mathematics, linear algebra, number theory, and graph theory are the math courses most relevant to the computer science profession. As the computer advanced, it changed mathematics. The computer has made the study of many branches of mathematics feasible. Feasible fields such as numerical analysis, approximation theory, operation research, and advanced statistics. So both are interlinked. For example, there is a relation between matrices and digital images. So images displayed on a computer screen are actually a collection of dots of colors called pixels. The collection of pixels that make up an image are stored as a matrix. So we use computers for solving mathematical equations. And one more thing is the page rank, which is very groundwork of Google as a company is based on this mathematical perspective. PageRank is the algorithm of the basic concept of principal eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Here we write program for the finding eigenvalues and eigenvector. So we are using computers for maths and maths for computers. And a differential mathematical equation is well-designed mathematical model used in biomedical sciences to stimulate complex biological processes of human health and diseases with high fidelity. It is most inexpensive and convenient way to study human physiology, drug responses, and diseases way more accurately by manipulating mathematical model parameters. So discrete random variables, continuous random variables, Bayes' formula, and normalization are some concepts of probability that are used in robotics, navigation, and locomotion along with other concepts of linear algebra. So the main objective of this webinar is to bring together both novice and experienced scientists with developers to meet new colleagues, collect new ideas, and establish new cooperation between research groups and provide a platform for researchers from academic to present their original work and exchange ideas, information, techniques, and applications in the field of computational applied mathematics, including operation research, numerical analysis, computational fluid mechanics, soft computing, and so on. The main objective of the workshop is to promote scientific and educational activities towards the advancement of common man's life by improving the theory and practice of various disciplines in mathematics and computers. So surprisingly, till now, 1,350 are the participants who has been registered, madam. So I congratulate all the participants for their active participation. And I ensure the webinar will be profitable for the next few days and they will be enjoyable and fruitful for every one of you. Thank you one and all.
Now it's my sincere duty to begin the workshop with opening remarks. Women are the architect of this society. She is an exemplary and one of the great architect and first woman Vice Chancellor of our university, Professor Surya Kalavati Garu, Vice Chancellor of Yogi Vemana University, Kadapa, earlier Professor, Director, School of Continuing and Distance Education, Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, Chief Guest of the today's function. Now I request to Madam to deliver opening.
So good afternoon. So respected Registrar of the University Vijay Raghav Prasad Garu and Principal in charge Chandramati Shankar Garu, Vice Principal Raghunath Reddy sir, Senior Professor and Dean Science Vasanti Madam. Rest of the people Katyayani, Sunita and Subba Reddy, Srinivas Reddy and Sridhar Babu. So good afternoon, dear participants. Good afternoon once again. So first, at the outset, I want to congratulate the mathematics department for organizing this 1 week virtual international workshop on new advances in mathematical and computational science. So there is one quotation from the Shakuntala Devi, mathematician, as without mathematics, there is nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics, everything around you is numbers. So maths is often studied as a pure science, but it's typically applied to other disciplines. It helps us think analytically and have a better reasoning abilities. So according to some people, maths is just the use of complicated formulas and the calculations, but maths is the universal language which is applied in almost every aspect of life. So mathematics allows scientists and engineers to produce methods that are systematic, reproducible, and transmittable knowledge for organizing and structuring knowledge when applied to technology. So mathematical and computational sciences has been significant in deploying analytical and quantitative thinking to tackle problems in science, industry, and society. So increasing data science and availability, enhanced computational power, and progress in algorithms and software makes this an ever exciting area. So calculus is often used in computer graphics, scientific computing, and computer security. So algebra is used in computer programming to develop algorithms and software for working with math functions. So computational geometry include robotics, geographic information systems, integrated circuit design, computer-aided engineering, computer vision. There are some of the important applications of mathematics in computer science. There are these two are interdependent. So I wish this international workshop a grand success and hope all the participants will have a great time in the event with new thoughts and knowledge. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, madam, for your thought-provoking address on this occasion. Now, I request we look forward for the gracious presence of our young and dynamic Registrar of Yogi Vemana University, Dr. Vijay Raghavan sir, as a special invitee for today's workshop. I welcome you, sir. I request you.
Members లో కొంచెం ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నట్టు. Thank you very much, Katyani madam. Good afternoon to all of you, Honorable Vice Chancellor madam, Principal madam, our Vice Principal sir, Professor Raghunath Reddy garu, Dean of all sciences, and Senior Professor Vasanthi madam, all faculty members of mathematics. I'm very happy to see everybody cohesively joining here for this today's very long, I think 1 week virtual international lecture workshop, which is, I think, very nicely designed. I understand from your speech and the remarks by VC madam. I think this mathematics and computers, as we understand, are very tightly intertwined subjects and totally miscible in terms of chemistry. If we speak, they are totally miscible, so you cannot separate. And the beauty of this is the scope of mathematics is so overwhelming. At some point of time, I think the computer science branched out. I think as people say, it generated from mathematics that nobody denies. I think the scope of mathematics is much, much higher than the computer science itself. So many people, I'm one such beautiful example who thinks that mathematics is limited with the topics like arithmetics, geometry, trigonometry, algebra, blah, blah, blah. And it is far, far, far fetched and outreached than that. I am example because this was the thought process which I had at very early age, which is why I had some kind of aversion is a wrong word because I'm sitting right in front of all people, but some kind of inefficiency towards mathematics. I thought I will stop learning mathematics at some point of time, move into biology, but then I realized that without mathematics,
Cannot do anything.
This is where I am now, and I will leave at that point. Coming back here, mathematic concepts are required in many disciplines, as people have already said. For example, fields like artificial intelligence, machine learning, you cannot ignore the gracious presence of mathematics. The effect of computer technology and mathematics education is greater in mathematics than in any other discipline. This is also widely accepted. So the mathematics is a natural complementary discipline for learning computer science. This is also, I think, as the speakers speak, I think we'll appreciate this aspect in all dimensions. So I once again congratulate the Department of Mathematics, especially the convener and all the faculty members for coming forward and organizing such a, and in a true spirit, this appears to be an international seminar. The participation, the speakers, everybody, I really honestly from the bottom of my heart express thanks for organizing this wonderful workshop. All the best for all the participants. And I also sincerely thank the resource persons for pulling out their valuable time to make their presence here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for encouraging words and continuous support to us, sir. Thank you. Now, with great respect and honor, I welcome Professor Chandramati Shankar Garu, Principal in charge of Yogi Vemana University College, as a special invitee for today's international workshop. I welcome you, madam. I request you to say a few words about this.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kathiyani. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Surya Kalavati Madam, respected Registrar, Professor D. Vijay Raghav Prasad Garu, Dean and Head Department of Applied Mathematics, Professor T. Vasanthi Garu, Convener, Dr. S. Sunita, Co-Convener, Dr. M. Sridhar Babu, and all the members of Department of Applied Mathematics, participants, delegates, students, research scholars, a very good afternoon. Today's 1-week virtual international lecture workshop is going to be a new feather in the cap of Yogi Vemana University. Our university has been organizing many such workshops and webinars. So it gives a great pleasure that one more is being held by the Department of Applied Mathematics. I wish all the convener and co-convener and the authorities of Yogi Vemana University for encouraging the conduction of this workshop. I congratulate the convener and co-convener and wish all the participants that they take home new ideas, new acquaintance, new, a better networking group. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for nice speakers about us. Now, I request great invite of our Vice Principal of Yogi Vemana University, Professor S. Raghunath Reddy Garu, as a special invitee for today's international workshop. Request you, sir, to give a small introduction of our workshop.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kathiyani Garu. So mathematics gives us hope that every problem has a solution. Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam, Professor M. Surya Kalavati Garu, Distinguished Registrar, Dr. Vijay Garu, Principal in charge, Professor Chandramati Shankar Garu, Dean Sciences, Professor Vasanthi Garu, Organizer, Dr. Sunita, Dr. Sridhar Babu, Dr. Kathiyani, and other colleagues, especially resource persons, Dr. Nishati Rao, Dr. Raja Das, Dr. Rizwan Sulhaq Sati, Professor Tejo Reddy, Dr. V. Prita, Dr. S. Kumar, for extending their valuable time in this 1-week seminar. There is a seminar on new advances in mathematical and computational sciences. So really it's appreciable. I congratulate the organizers for conducting this seminar for 1 week, because it's a hectic 1 week in a sense, but they have taken a lot of pains for conducting this seminar, especially on mathematics and computational sciences, because as it's mentioned, mathematics gives us the hope that every problem is a solution. So with this, the main number of solutions will derive for various problems. Because mathematics will nurture the various things. So certain qualities that are nurtured by mathematics are power of reasoning, creativity, abstract or special thinking, critical thinking, problem solving ability, and even effective communication skills. So will be acquired with this mathematics. So in this context, it is very important. So I congratulate once again the Department of Mathematics for conducting this webinar, this workshop. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Mere number of participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the nice speech. Now, I would like to invite Professor T. Vasanthi Garu, Dean, Academic Sciences, Head, Department of Applied Mathematics, who is the chairperson of this workshop, for her kind consent in organizing this workshop. Now, I request our madam to give small speech about this webinar.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Surya Kalavati Madam, respected Registrar, Professor Vijayaragha Prasad Garu, Principal in charge, Professor Chandramati Shankar, Vice Principal, Professor Raghunath Reddy Garu, staff, research scholars, students, and participants. At the outset, I congratulate Dr. Sunita, convener, Dr. Sridhar Babu, co-convener, and other organizing committee members of the one-week virtual international workshop on new advances in mathematical and computational sciences for their initiation to conduct this international workshop. The most prestigious award in the field of mathematics is Fields Medal. The Fields Medal is only awarded every 4 years. Professor Dr. Peter Skoll from Germany was awarded Fields Medal in 2018 for transforming arithmetic algebraic geometry over periodic fields through his introduction of perfectoid spaces with application to Galois representations and for the development of new cohomology theories. 2019 is a great year for research in mathematics. Mathematicians are always looking for ways to help in the fight against cancer. Innovative math modeling helped mathematicians and biologists on cell growth. This research, which used math models to gain new insights on how breast cancer spreads to other parts of the body. Kirigami gets mathematized. Kirigami, meaning paper cutting, is finding its niches in industrial applications. Harvard researchers mastered the math of Kirigami in 2019, illuminating new frontiers in manufacturing and materials sciences. In 2020, many open problems were solved in computer science and mathematics. I am sure that the deliberation will be useful to the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very nice.
Now, I request
AM award. Please.
Fields Medal.
Fields to give
It is equivalent to Nobel Prize. In mathematics, this is the highest.
a small introduction to about the today's research person. Dr. N. Sheshagiri Rao, Associate Professor, Department of Applied Mathematics, School of Applied Natural Science, ADMA Science and Technology University, ADMA, Ethiopia.
Good afternoon to all. I am very glad to introduce Ramana Sheshagiri Rao sir. He is Associate Professor, Department of Applied Mathematics, Adama Science and Technology University, Ethiopia. He got his PhD from Acharya Nagar in 2014 under the supervision of Professor C.H. Pattavirama, NIT Warangal, Telangana. He got his MPhil under the guidance of Professor G.M. Degiri, IIT Kanpur, Department of Mathematics, Gujarat. He has 17 years of teaching experience and 12 years of research experience. PhD was awarded under sir's guidance. He presented papers in many national and international conferences. He has published 63 international research publications and also 2 book chapters in the book Advanced Mathematics Theory and Applications. He is a member of several international professional bodies like AB Society for Mathematical Sciences, International Journal of Scientific and Innovative Mathematical Research, International Journal of Modern Science,
Telepathy.
Jordan Journal of Maths and Statistics.
Sir was telling
He has special
coffee
interest in mathematical
coffee
modeling.
ఉంటే బాగుంటుందని.
లేదు ఎప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఇస్తారు కదా
Modeling.
మనం ఎప్పుడు వాళ్ళ దగ్గర తీసుకుంటాం.
మీరు ఎప్పుడు వస్తున్నారు మేము ఇలా
మీటింగ్ మరి ఇంటర్వ్యూలు అన్ని జరుగుతున్నాయి కదా.
He was awarded Teacher of Excellence Award on 15th September 2007. Thanking you for giving.
Now, I request Dr. Sheshagiri Rao sir to deliver his lecture.
మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నాడు.
Sir, sir, please unmute yourself, sir.
Okay, madam, now?
Yeah, yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, audible? Okay, thank you. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. N. Shashkara from Ethiopia. At the outset, I would like to thank all delegates from the university, Professor M. Surya Kalavati, madam, Vice Chancellor, Professor D. Vijay Raghaprasad Garu, Registrar, Professor V. Chandramati Shankar, Principal in charge, for giving me this opportunity to deliver one lecture in this 1 week international virtual workshop. And also thanks to, I would like 1 minute, I will see the name. Professor T. Vasanthi Garu, the head department of applied mathematics, and the organizing committee, and in particular convener of this particular event, Dr. S. Sunita Garu, and the co-convener Sridhar Babu Garu, for contacting me to produce this lecture today now. So I'm also thankful to all colleagues from various parts of the world and my dear students. So today I'm going to give one lecture on a mathematical modeling which is related to a food web system. You know, every real world problem can be converted in terms of differential equations or partial differential equations. So I have selected one problem from ecology. So where so many are aware of this one. Everyone can see, everyone can interact in different ways among the different ways according to the resources available in that particular situation. So here there are many interactions among the species, out of which I selected only 2 different kinds. The first one is a competitive, and the second one is a predator. So in that food web system, I have taken only 3 different types of species. I will show you by sharing my video PPTs. Let me give me 1 minute. I will share my PPTs. Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, so in this particular modeling, I'm going to discuss about how to construct the model based on the interaction among the species, and what about its nature, means what the solution is going to be bounded or not. And we can also see about the survivalness of the species based on the equilibrium points and local stability. And also some specific case here we have observed hoop bifurcation means what the system may be got stable or sometimes it is going to be unstable. That also we have checked. And stochastic anesthetic also we have discussed, and numerical parts also we have seen this model. See, particularly in this model, I have taken three different types of species, as I told you, x of t, y of t. Here, this x of t, y of t, and z of t are the state variables which are going to indicate the species. X of t and y of t are the place species, and those two are competing each other within the availability of resources like water, food, and some land. And Z of t, it is indicates the density of the predator species, right, which is depending on the first prey species, and it is taking food from the first species in a non-linear manner. You can say it is holding. There are different kinds of ways to take the food from the prey species. So here I consider in this model as a non-linear polling type 2 functional response. So here in this model, you can see, I will show you this model. So this is the model, right? This model, nothing but the coupled differential equations, and R indicates the first prey species growth rate, and S indicates the second prey species growth rate. And normally, you know that the rate of the growth is depending on the present population. So here, because of that reason, this X rate growth rate and Y growth rate and Z growth rates are depending on the availability of the species at that instant. So that's why R, S, and RSS are the growth rate, incentive growth rates of the populations, prey populations. And in this model, I considered as a logistic growth rate means what it will not grow like exponential. So it will grow up to some stage and then it will go down. So it means what it will go up to some level and then will go down. So it will not cross the carrying capacity. So that's why I have included a logistic growth rate. So here K and L indicates the logistic growth rates of the two prey species. And see these two X and Y, you can see alpha and delta indicates the competing coefficients. I told you these X and Y's are competing for the food availability of resources like food, water, and some regions there. So that's why there is a negative sign of this alpha and negative sign of this delta because of competing each other. And here in this model, again, I have taken this Z. I told you this is a predator. So this predator is growth rate is less than its you can say beta naught. Beta naught means it is a death rate. Means what here the birth rate is less than death rate. So here because of that reason, I'm taking minus sign of that. And here this will exist. Why? Because of this species is getting food from the first prey species. That's why it is going to survival in the nature. Otherwise, suppose if this star is not here, then it is unable to get survival in the nature. So that's why. So I'm taking the mortality rate. You can say the death rate of the coefficient beta naught for this particular last predator species, and this predator is going to get benefit from the first prey species in the polling type 2 response functions. And here this beta 1 indicates the how much time it requires to get food from the prey species, and R1 is the saturation rate. So for combining all together, we have a system of three differential equations in three differential nonlinear equations. You can say, of course, ordinary nonlinear differential equations. And in the biological sense, you can say that X of t, Y of t, Z of t all are going to be starting with 0 or positive. Why? Because of negative means there is no meaningless of the biological system. So that's why I started with taking the initial values for these three variables, or you can say state variables, or you can species with 0, starting with 0, 0. Right, and then I have seen how the system will be going to be bounded. So bounded in this sense, it should be bounded. Otherwise the system will not go as long as time is long. So it is not possible everywhere in the world. So that's why I have checked out this system is bounded or not. And the second one is that dissipativeness also I have verified about this system. So first of all, I have given one important theorem related to the given ecological system, is that X of t, Y of t, Z of t is a solution for the system. with initial condition as a starting from all state variables of 0. It should be positive. Why? Because of I told you that x, y, z are starting from 0 means it is never going to be negative side. There is no meaningless for that, and it is positive and it should be bounded. Otherwise, the system may not survive in this survival as long as bounded and dissipativeness for all t is greater than 0. So these 3 points exist when this beta 2, this particularly this one, this beta 2 is less than beta 1. Otherwise, it won't get this kind of properties for the system. So for that reason, I have taken one function combining all together these state variables in terms of t, w. This is my function. So based on this, I am going to check my solution is positive, the system solution is positive and bounded or dissipativeness of all 3 kinds. So for that reason, first I combine all three functions x of t, y of t, z of t together. I call it as a w for the system. And actually I have a derivatives of 3 state variables x, y, z. So I differentiate this. My target is to know the solution is bounded or not. So for that reason, I'm taking some analytical parts. So I differentiated the given w with respect to t. So in the right side, I have 3 kinds of derivatives with respect to x, y, z, and t combining. So I know this dx by dt, dy by dt, all growth rates of the species x, y, z. I substituted from the given system of linear equations or the given system of nonlinear differential equations. I substituted here, and this is about dx by dt, and this is dy by dt and dz by dt. And here by doing some simple calculations, so finally this becomes this kind of expression. And here see some of the terms are positives and some of the terms are negatives. And in this expression, I have a term, this is called a Holding type 2 response function here I have, and this is multiplied with a constant beta 1 minus beta 2. So beta 1 minus beta 2. So I'm looking at what kind of solution, means what my solution should be positive. So in this case, I have taken my beta 2, this beta 2 is less than beta 1. Definitely this term is going to be negative. So finally, in this expression, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 terms are there. Out of 7, only you can say 2 terms are positives and remaining terms are negatives. So from this region, I removed some of the terms in the right side. You can see in the next equation, I removed some of the terms in the. I want to see this should be bounded. So for that reason, this is bounded by some number. So for that reason, I have removed some of the terms which are very negative. So if I remove that also, there will be no trouble in the right hand side. So Rx minus Rx squared by k plus S into y minus Sy squared by L and less than or equal to. So this I can write it as by taking k as a common LCM in the first 2 terms and second 2 terms. So finally, it is less than or equal to R by k into 2k minus x squared plus by L into 2Ly minus y squared. So here I'm going to take I'm going to involve a constant which should be very, you can say, constant dominating the 2 terms. So for that reason, I'm taking the minimum of the k and L. Actually, we know this k and L's are nothing but the carrying capacities of the first 2 prey species x and y. So from that, I'm defining a constant which is the minimum of both. So if I take a minimum of the k and L carrying capacities, then our equation will be becomes like this: dw by dt plus j into omega. So definitely see, this is the term I'm adding here to this particular term. If I add this term also, by following the analysis, it will not create any problem to the left. So this term is still going to be dominating the term dw by dt plus j into w. So it is finally less than or equal to R by k times of k square. So this term I have modified like this. I have added k square and added and subtracted k square term to this term, and here also added and subtracted L square to this term. So finally, R by k times of k square minus x minus k whole square. This will give the same sum like here, and S by L. I'm doing some simple calculations here. Means what I'm going to write that expression in terms of square. So if I expand it, finally I get the same term here. So finally, see, this is again a term which is subtracting from k square, and this is a term subtracting for m square. So again, this right hand side term is dominating r by k times of k square plus l by s by l square times of k square. So by cancelling k here and by cancelling l here, so finally what I get a term is it is simply a constant r into k s into l. So here k and l's are nothing but the carrying capacities of the first two prey species. R is nothing but the incentric growth rate of first prey X, and this is nothing but the incentric growth rate of second species S. So finally, it is going to be a constant because of all parameters are all are constant. So it is going to be constant. So see, this left side is dw by dt plus chi into w is less or equal to mu. So finally, this is a linear equation. So if I take in between equal to here, so it is nothing but a simply first order first degree linear differential equation, and from this I know how to get the solution. So this is going to be a solution at this particular point m, where this m is given by the initial condition like this. So by substituting the point this particular value here, so this w is less than or equal to u minus xi times of 1 minus e power xi minus xi times of t plus w of 0 into e power minus xi times of t. So here you can see time is inward. So as long as you can go with the time, then this term is going to be 0 and this term is also going to be 0. And therefore this u by w, you can get plus w of 0. Anyhow, it is a, you can say the value at 0, 0. So finally, this term is going to be a constant here. So means what? My solution is bounded by something here. So therefore, you can say that. So w of t lies between 0 and mu by xi. So therefore, you can take any solution in the R3 plane and for every value of x, y, z. So definitely, my solution will lie between these 2 points only. Therefore, my system is stable according to the given theorem. Means what? The system can exist as a long run in the environment. That is what it is going to tell. And not only when this will happen when beta 2 is less than beta 1. And not only this, one more point is that this solution is positive everywhere because of it lies between 0 and mu by xi. So it is always positive. And one more thing, it is dissipative also. Why? Because of dissipative means you can take any kind of solution, that solution should be positive in the given domain itself. So therefore, it is also dissipativeness when beta 2 is less than beta 1. So finally, this theorem tells us that the system, this ecological system will stay long in the environment within the available resource meant. So that is what I have checked by using this particular theorem. And next one is equilibrium points. So these points are very important to check the dynamical system of behavior of the dynamical system at that particular point. So equilibrium points means where in the plane where the growth rate of the systems are going to be 0 with respect to the population size, So we can check these equilibrium points by equating the first dx by dt, dy by dt, dz by dt is equal to 0. So means what? The growth rate equation should be zeros. So if I solve the right side, the 3 equations, so finally I'm going to get 6 kinds of equilibrium points, and these points will tell you how my this system will behave. Means what? How the species will behave at those particular points. So the first one, if I solve those 3 equations by equating dx by dt, dy by dt, dz by dt to 0, so I have 3 equations. So from those 3 equations, I have these many 6 kinds of solutions. You can say these solutions are called equilibrium points. These are the solutions. So at the first one, I got this one. All species are going to be extant. Means x is equal to 0, y equal to 0, z equal to 0. Means all species are extant. Means what? It is an extant state or fully washed out state. And I have one more equilibrium point that I'm calling it as U2. That is x bar equal 0, y bar equal L, and z equal to L. Means what? In this case, this y bar equal to L means the second prey species only existing in the nature, and the remaining are going to be washed out. And coming to the third point, it is E3, x bar equal to k, y bar equal 0, z bar. These are also the solutions of 3 equations. So I'm giving the interpretations in terms of the ecological way. So x bar equal to k, this species is only surviving and remaining are going to be washed out. And coming to the fourth solution, that solution is given by x bar equal to r1 beta naught by beta 2 minus beta naught, and y bar equal 0 and z bar equal to some term. And this term should be positive. I told you all points should be positive. If any x bar, y bar, z bar is going to be negative, means it is meaningless biologically. So that's why all equilibrium points means should be positive. X bar, y bar, z bar should be positive. Otherwise, no need to consider those. So x bar is this and y bar is going to be 0 and so z bar equal this one, and this is going to be positive when this term particularly this term is less than this one. Or you can give that in terms of beta 2 and beta naught constants also. Suppose this term beta 2 minus beta naught. So beta 2 is dominating beta naught, definitely this is going to be a positive one. So therefore, this is a conditionally, you can say conditionally equilibrium point. So that exists in the xz plane. Why? Because of the second phase species is going to be washed out. And coming to the fifth one, E5, x bar, y bar exists with some conditions like this. R bar is greater than L into alpha, S is greater than K into delta, and another condition is R into S is greater than KL alpha delta. And anyhow, here Z bar equals 0, this third species washed out. And finally, there is one more equilibrium point, that is, you can also say that it is a positive equilibrium point, or sometimes you can also call it as a coexistent state. Here, all three species get survival. See that x bar, y bar, and z bar with respect to some conditions. Beta 2 is greater than beta naught, and R is greater than alpha minus L, and K alpha L delta greater than R into S. So these are the equilibrium points for the system that we can obtain by equating the time derivatives to 0. So all should be positives. So once I have a equilibrium points in my hand, then I can see how the system behaves by taking a smaller, you can say a smaller increment or a smaller decrement or some smaller change at the equilibrium point. So for that reason here, I have introduced a smaller perturbations, means what, either increment or decrement at each and every equilibrium point. Then I will see the system is come back to the original position or not. If it is depart from the system, then you can say that the system is unstable, means what, it will not exist long run in the nature or environment. If it is coming towards to that equilibrium point, then we can say that the system is stable, means what, it will exist in the environment. So for that reason, I have verified by involving the perturbed terms U1, U2, U3 to each and every equilibrium point. And then once you involve these perturbed terms U1, U2, U3 to the equations, because of the terms are nonlinear in the right side, so I can get nonlinear terms in terms of mu1, mu2, and mu3. So that system becomes much complicated to get the solutions in the solutions. So for that reason, I removed, I can say I avoided the terms which are, you can say, degree more than 2 or more than 2, or the multiples of these perturbed terms. Why? Because I want to see the system, or I want to convert the system in terms of linear. So for that linear, I removed the terms degrees of mu1, mu2, mu3 more than are equal to 2, or multiples of the terms. So finally, after removing, I can get a linearized system. So that linearized system I converted in terms of the matrix form. Du by dt equal to Je. This is nothing but the Jacobian matrix, means what, this also we can get it easily by taking xyz derivatives of the right hand side terms, so then we can maintain it as a rows. You can get a Jacobian matrix. So use of this Jacobian matrix is, we can see how this system is going to be stable or unstable based on the equilibrium points. So these equilibrium points tells us the vector is going towards or going to depart, going away from the equilibrium point. It means what, the perturbation, because of that perturbation, means what, some disturbance at those points, we can check the system is come back to the original position or not. So this will help us to see the system stability or instability based on the nature of eigenvalues of this particular matrix. So anyhow, this is finally the Jacobian matrix of the given system of nonlinear equations. So here, by taking different eigenvalues, means what, u1, u2, u3, e3, u up to u6. So corresponding, you can get a Jacobian matrix at which we can discuss the system stability based on the nature of the eigenvalues. So here I started with discussing the stability nature of the given system. So it is very important concept to check the dynamical behavior of the system. So that's why I have considered this particular Jacobian matrix for the system. So the first point means what it is, extent point means what all three species are going to be zeros case. So we can see how the species will behave. So I substituted x is equal 0, y equal 0, and z equal 0 in the Jacobian matrix. So finally that I'm calling it as JE1. Means what this is a Jacobian matrix relevant to the first equilibrium points. So at that point, you can see that except the diagonal elements, all elements are going to be 0 because of the expressions like that. So the eigenvalues are finally R, S, and beta naught. And these eigenvalues, you can see out of 3 eigenvalues, one is negative and another 2 are positive. So there is an analysis saying that if all eigenvalues of a Jacobian matrix are negative, then it is going to be you can get a vectors, which vectors are coming towards to the point. If any one of the eigenvalue is going to be positive, means what that particular vector is going away from that particular point. So that if all eigenvalues are negative, then the vectors nearer to that particular equilibrium point coming towards to that, therefore the system is stable, otherwise it is unstable. So here at this particular point, I have 3 eigenvalues for the system, but out of which 2 are positives, R and S, and this is negative, and therefore the system is going to be unstable. Why? Because of this reason, positives and negatives are, sometimes we can also call it as a saddle point, means what some are coming towards to that point and some are depart from that point. So that's why the system is not stable. Okay, so this is the nature I observed at that first equilibrium point or fully washed out state. So like that, we can see the system behavior at each and every point using mathematical terminology. So for the second equilibrium point, you can say E2. So this is going to be stable, means what all vectors, or you can say coming towards to that particular point when this condition satisfies, gamma is greater than R by L. So how it is that we can see by taking the particular Jacobian matrix at E2. So this is the Jacobian matrix at E2, right? So finally, by getting characteristic equation and the roots, you can say it is eigenvalues. So from that eigenvalues, you can see that the characteristic values of the system, or you can say eigenvalues of the system, are going to be R minus alpha L minus L minus beta naught. Anyhow, minus L and beta naught, these are positives. And this term here, we have a chance of getting a negative or positive or 0. If R minus alpha L is a positive, means what R is dominating this alpha L. So because of one is positive, another 2 are negative, definitely it is going to be unstable because of the system will not sustain long run. If R is less than alpha L, so definitely it is negative, and therefore the smaller disturbance, whatever we created there, again the system come back to the original position, means what the system is going to be stable. If R minus alpha L is equal 0, one eigenvalue 0 and rest of the terms are going to be negative, even though that case also the system is unstable. So here, based on these particular eigenvalues, we can give the system nature. So here the conditionally, you can say it is a conditionally stable at the point E2, R minus alpha L. So this is one discussion about equilibrium point 2. Similarly, we can also see the equilibrium point E3. And here also the system is stable when it follows these 2 conditions. K is greater than S by delta and K is greater than beta naught into R1 by beta 2 minus beta naught. If it satisfies these 2 conditions, then the system is going to be stable, otherwise it is unstable. Similarly, as above, here these 2 conditions are satisfied, then all eigenvalues are going to be negatives. In the rest of the time, it is going to be positives, and some are positives or some are negatives, or zeros or positives. So that's why the system is unstable. So this is one case we have observed at point E3. Similarly, we can also check the stability nature of the given system. So stability nature means we are talking about the system will stable or not in the environment. That is what in terms of the these parameters we are checking out. So if beta naught is beta naught by beta 2 is greater than this particular term, then this E4 means for the system at E4 is going to be stable. In other cases, it is unstable. So how we can see that point? So at point 4, equilibrium point 4. So this is the relevant Jacobian matrix And for simplicity, I'm taking H11, H12, H13, the elements of the Jacobian matrix like this, where H11, H12, H13 in terms of the our model parameters and the state variables are given like this. R1 minus 2R x bar by K minus alpha into Y bar. So like this, we can get our H11, the elements of the Jacobian matrix. Right. So this is the relevant characteristic equation. Because of it is a 3x3 matrix, because of we have three equations in this Lekov system, so we get a 3x3 matrix. So finally, we can get a cubic polynomial in terms of lambda. So there is a rule in analysis saying that two-thirds criteria, saying that if this term is negative, means what? From here we can get one eigenvalue, and from here we can get two eigenvalues. If so, from this we get lambda equal to H3. So if this term is negative, means what? The eigenvalue is going to be negative. And from here, second, you can see that from this one. So quadratic equation, if this is the term that we can write in terms of the state variables and parameters, we can get finally this. And this is one more time, you can say this is the trace of the matrix, and this is called, you can say, not a trace, because of, right, not a trace. H11 plus H22, this is the term, and this is another term. Root H criteria telling that if this term is less than 0 and this term is positive, then it is going to be all eigenvalues are negatives, and therefore the system is going to be stable, otherwise not. So based on that particular reason, I have taken a condition that this should be negative and this term should be negative, so that all eigenvalues negatives, we can get the system is stable. So by taking that particular condition, I have an interlink, or you can say some condition based on this particular model parameters, beta naught, beta 2, K, S, L, alpha, and all these parameters. If I have such a condition like this, then the system is going to be stable, otherwise not. So stable, see, this is nothing but a stability of a equilibrium point at point 4. Means what? We are checking the stability of the nature locally. Locally means if you take any initial point nearer to that particular point, all solution go coming towards that particular point. So that is what I have checked in each and every case. Local stability means we are checking the stability of the system by taking initial values nearer to the equilibrium point. So not only that, if you take an initial point which is so far away from that equilibrium point, if it is coming towards to that particular point, then it is called a global stability. That also I have verified for the system, because of at E4, equilibrium point 4, you can see that there is no jet. Means what? Only two species exist in the environment, that is the first two species only. So for them, I have checked the global stability of the system. Where because of I have two variables only, so I have verified the global stability of the system in the R2 plane because of only two variables. See, by putting Z equals 0, means what? In this equilibrium point, Z value is already 0. So I have put Z equals 0 in the given system of three linear equations. So finally, I got these two only. And see, because of Z equals 0, some of the terms are going to be 0 in the right-hand side of the first two phase species, right? Derivatives. So finally, this I'm calling it as some F1 and F2. So next, I want to see how this will be, the system will be survivable when time goes on. So that I have verified by using one important technique, that is Poincare and Bendix-Dulac theorem. Poincare-Bendix-Dulac theorem. So it says that suppose two functions, we have says these are two functions, F1 and F2. These two functions should be positive, right? F1 and F2 should be positive. If we take the partial derivatives of these two functions, and this is not equal 0, there is no chance of getting periodic solutions, and therefore the system is going to be stable. So based on that Poincare-Bendix formula, I have verified the system is equal 0 or not equal 0. If it is not equal 0, then by following that particular theorem, we can say that it is stable. So for that reason, I have involved one important function which will help us to see the nature of the sum of two functions, 1 by xy. So this is defined for every value of x and y in the R2 plane, except 0, 0, 0. And see, I have verified. Next, what about the derivatives of these two functions? So finally, in the right side, you can see these are the derivatives of these two functions, and the derivative is going to be less than 0, means what? No chance of getting it is 0. So if it is not equal 0, then the term tells us there is no a chance of getting periodic solutions inside the plane R2, and therefore the solution is unique, only one, and it is also bounded. So once you follow these two conditions, and this theorem tells that it is stable, not stable, globally stable. Okay, so this is how we are checking the global stability of the first two phase species based on the Poincare-Bendix Dulux theorem. And about the point is not only in R2 plane, in R3 plane also that is going to be, even though that species means for Z equal 0, right, they are in the E4 fine, even though in the three species if possible exist, in that case also this is going to be stable. So that I have verified the global stability. So global stability means you can take any curve which is going through that particular point, and at any point on the curve, if we take a derivative of that particular curve, the derivative should be negative. If it is negative, then automatically the curve is you can say the curve is going towards that particular equilibrium point. Means for 10 to the equilibrium point, then you can say that this particular species or system is stable. So this is another way to check the global stability by using Lyapunov function. So this is the Lyapunov function for this particular model. And see, this Lyapunov function is not fixed. It may change or it may vary depending on the equations what we have in the given system. This is not fixed at all. So finally, I have selected this kind of Lyapunov function. Lyapunov function means this is not equal 0, and the derivative it should be positive different, means what it is everywhere you can give any values of x and y, it should be positive. And if this derivative at any time is less than 0, then you can say that the system is stable. So that I have checked. So for every value of xy, this is going to be positive. So it is never not equal to 0 except 0. So these two conditions are satisfied. And next I'm checking out what about the time derivative of this v1. If it is negative, then I can say that my system is stable, otherwise not. So next I'm concentrating on the derivative of this particular v1. So dv1 by dt, so that in terms of the derivatives of the first phase species and the second phase species. So I substituted those terms dx by dt, dy by dt in this right side expression. And by taking simple calculations, or you can say when these terms, this is my term by substituting dx by dt and dy by dt, and this r and this s also the inserting growth rates of the phase species x and y. So r equal to that term we can write in terms of the parameters x and y. This s also we can write in terms of the parameters x and y. See that r equal to rx bar by k plus alpha times of y bar, and this is term. This we can get from the first equation, first species equation, and s also we can write in terms of this. So s y bar by l plus delta x bar. This I can get from the second phase species. I substituted in this one, in this expression. So finally, what I get is this term. So all this term is involving all state variables x, y, z, and equilibrium point x bar, y bar, z bar, and some model parameters, right, involved in the right hand side. So, and by simplifying this, so finally my expression is going to be, see that x minus x bar whole square into this term, y minus y bar into this term, and x minus x bar into this term I got. Again, I modified this like this. If I take L1 equal to this one, so here is L1. Here is L1, the term L1. See, this is going to be negative. My target is this should be dv1 by dt should be negative. If it is negative, then my solution is going to that particular equilibrium point. Means what? The system is going to be stable. So that is what I'm looking at. So anyhow, because of this square term, this is always negative, and this term I have to see should be positive, so that the entire term is going to be negative. And anyhow, S, L, and this L2 and L all are positive terms. There is no trouble at all here. And this term also y minus y bar square. This is also positive because of square term here. And this is anyhow negative. So I want to see if this term is negative, then finally this right side term is going to be negative. Therefore, dv1 by dt is negative. So according to that rule, our solution is going towards this. Means what? The system is going to be stable. So for that reason, I have selected L1 and L2 like this in the previous equation. Once I substitute these values, so finally what I get is, this is the expression, x minus x bar whole square, and there is a multiple term here, and y minus y bar whole square, there is another term, and Z1 is Z bar whole square. So see here, there is no chance of getting positive sign because of square term, and this constant is anyhow positive, and this is also positive for value of y bar, and this term is always positive because of S, L, and all parameters, and x bar also positive. And here also this is going to be positive. When this term is, see that there is a chance of getting negative term. If this term is less than this term, then it is going to be a negative, and negative into negative, it is going to be positive. So for that reason, I have taken one condition that if this term is less than this particular term, then this term is going to be negative. So finally, all three terms are negatives. So once it is negative, then the system is stable. So for that reason, I have taken a condition that if this term is lesser than this term, then dv1 by dt is less than 0, and hence by that particular Russell's criteria, you can say that the dynamical system is globally stable at E4. So finally, this system is globally stable as well as locally stable by following certain conditions. And similarly, we can also check the dynamical system nature, means what stable or unstable, or unstable means what locally stable or globally stable, as we follow the previous theorems. So at this condition x bar and this another condition z bar, the E5 means the fifth equilibrium point where the second phase species is fully washed out. So at this particular point, the system is going to be stable by following these two conditions. Otherwise, it is going to be unstable. This is what, by taking some initial conditions needed to the equilibrium points, we have verified coming towards that point or not. Means what locally stable we verified by following these two conditions. And not only that, we can also see the global stability nature of the system in two planes, R2 plane and R3 plane, as we discussed above, because of one of the species is going to be washed out. So here also, by following the previous conditions, these two conditions, the system is stable in R2 plane and R3 plane. So this is about the fifth equilibrium point. So like that, we have verified the dynamical behavior of the system at each and every equilibrium point. And lastly, this is coexistent, or you can also say that positive equilibrium point. Here also I have followed the same rules. At the last point E6, this is the corresponding equilibrium point. And these elements are in terms of the model parameters, state variables, and equilibrium points, C1, like that, C1, C1, 2, C1, 3, C21, C22, C23, C31, all are highlighted here, the corresponding to that particular equilibrium point E6. And finally, I will get this cubic equation in terms of lambda, and this B1, B2, B3s are in terms of the state variables and parameters that I have highlighted down. So B1, B2, B3, like this, these are all model parameters and the state variables involved. And the N1, for my convenience, I have involved some terms N1 and N2. N1 is this and N2 is, because otherwise it is, these expressions are going to be large. So that's why I involved some parameters N1 and N2. Here is the case, this system from Routh-Hedges criteria is going to be stable if B1 is greater than 0, B3 is greater than 0, and B1, B2 is dominating B3. So if these parameters, means what here, B1, B2, B3, by giving some parameters in the sense, by giving some particular values of the parameters, if these are following the above rule, then it is going to be stable. So that also we have verified. And in terms of the model parameters and state variables, if this beta n is less than this particular term, here see that x bar, y bar, all are K, L, R, and N1. So in this N1, we have R1 and everything. So finally, if beta 1 is less than this term, then the coefficients B1, B2 of the characteristic equations are greater than 0. And this B3 is also, this is B3 is also greater than 0. Now coming to this particular term, B1, B2 minus B3, this term I'm going to check is positive or negative, this term, B1 minus B2 minus B3. So I have substituted B1, B3 and B2 here, like this. See, this is the term. And simplifying, finally what I get is, see here there is a chance of getting here negative, so it is going to be negative term. Here also, if this term is dominating this term, then it is going to be negative. So my aim is how it is going to be positive. So for that reason, see if my P2 is, see here, if this is dominating this and this is dominating this, so by combining together, finally what I get is, if my B2 is beta 2 is greater than this particular term, then this delta will be positive. So means what here, there is a condition to satisfy all this particular B1, B1, beta 2, B1, B2, B3s are going to be positives. So here, this is a term, right? This particular term is dominating beta 2, then delta is also positive. So from the theorem, it is telling that the system is going to be locally stable. Means what, you can take any point nearer to that, and the solution according to that is going towards that particular point. So this is given by Routh-Hedge criteria. So if follows the conditions of Routh-Hedge criteria, then the system is going to be stable. So this is one thing we verified at this particular point. And not only that, we have also seen the global stability nature of the system by using the same like Poincare-Bendix formula. And you can see that here all three species exist. This is a very important thing. All three species exist means how it will be survivable. We have to verify. So locally also stable and globally also stable, that we verified by taking this particular Lyapunov function. So the Lyapunov function having three terms. This is what term in terms of X, term in terms of Y, term in terms of Z. Why? Because of, I told you in the beginning, so there is no particular rule to take a Lyapunov function. So Lyapunov function is depending on the model equation. So here three species exist. So based on that, I have taken these three terms here. So next my target is, this is always positive for every value of X, Y, Z. This is positive. And next I have to check what about time derivative of this particular V3. If this time derivative of this particular V3 is negative, I told you this is going to be stable. So that is what I have verified by taking time derivative of this V3. So dV3 by dt is finally I got this one in the right side, and substituting these time derivatives of the species X, Y, Z, and doing simple calculations in the right side, and substituting the incentric growth rates of this prey species R, S, and this death rate of the third state variable, you can say predator. So finally, this is going to be a big expression in terms of the equilibrium point and model parameters. And simplifying this expression on the right side, there are another numbers, you can say N1 and N2. And by selecting proper values of N1 and N2, these terms are going to be all terms, not only one, all terms are going to be negatives. So this is the condition such that, so if I select N1 equal to 1 by beta 1, N2 equal to 1, and N3 equal to R1 plus X11 by beta 2 R1 in the right side of this previous expression, then the whole terms, you can say all terms are going to be negatives, and so that this dV3 by dt is going to be negative. So once it is negative, then the system is going to be globally stable. So this system is negative, satisfying these particular conditions. So this is, you can see that from the first term only I got this expression. So if this term is dominating this particular term,
Sir, the
hello?
screen is not visible, sir.
Now it is okay, madam?
No, sir. No, sir.
Is the presentation visible?
No, sir. No, sir.
Your screen is not visible, sir.
Now look at me. Now see, madam.
Presentation is not visible, sir. You are visible, sir.
You are visible, sir. Your
But your
slides
screen
are
is
not
green.
visible, sir.
1 minute, madam. I'm checking.
Share it, sir.
I'm sharing once again.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Now it is okay?
Okay, now.
Okay, madam?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so sorry for this. So finally, this term, if this term is dominating this particular term at this stage, so dV3 by dt is negative, and from that particular theorem states that this system is going to be stable globally. So this is also verified. And not only that, see, there is a one more important point for the system. Hope bifurcation exists. Hope bifurcation in the sense, so based on the parameters in the model equations, if you take smaller changes in the model equations, the system is going to be stable, or sometimes the system is going to be unstable. So here there are some variables at which it is going to be the system, right? First, it is stable by taking, you can say, smaller changes at those points of the system is going to be unstable. So that also we have verified by taking smaller changes at the parameters. See, the hope bifurcation exists to the model at this critical point. So what is that we have also verified by taking this. So this hope bifurcation exists for the system if beta 1 is less than this particular term. So this is the critical point. You can say that beta 2 equal to beta 2 star. So this point I'm calling it as beta 2, or you can say beta 2 star. So at this particular point, then the system holds the hope bifurcation. Means what? It changes its dynamical nature. Maybe you can say stability to instability, or instability to stability. So that also verified by considering this particular theorem. This theorem is given by actually Liu. So by following Liu approach, we have verified the system is having this bifurcation nature or not. So for that reason, already these terms already we have seen beta B1, B2, B3 in the case of coexistence state. So the system states that if B1 positive, B2 positive, and derivative of that term in the Rutherford criteria, we have taken B1, B3 minus B2. So derivative of that term with respect to the model parameter is not equal to 0, then this particular Louis approach telling that the system having hope bifurcation. So based on this, we verified this B1, B2, B3 at this particular point, beta 2 positives are not. So verified. So then see at B1, it is going to be N2. So N1, N2, this already we highlighted in the case of coexistence state. For simplicity, we have assumed some expression like N1, N2, N3. So by following those particular terms, it is going to be positive. And under this condition, what are the conditions we assumed in the coexistence state? Under those conditions, this is positive at that point beta 2 star, and means critical point. Similarly, B3 is also positive. The conditions followed by what we discussed in coexistence state, and here the condition. And derivative of that with respect to the critical point is also not equal to 0. So all three conditions of this particular Rio approach satisfying, and therefore the system having hope bifurcation. I have already given some examples for this hope bifurcation that we will see at the end. So the system having hope bifurcation means what? There is some, if we create some disturbance, or you can say model parameters, if we take smaller changes, then the system is getting depart from that system equilibrium point or coming towards to that. Means what? It is stable or unstable based on the equilibrium volume. So here also we have verified stochastic analysis of the system. So this is one more important technique to see the system dynamical behavior by taking small noise, like it is perturbations. So here also, if you take a small noise to the system, we can observe how the system will behave within this short period of time. So that also we have verified by taking Gaussian white noise. So this is a Gaussian white noise to the system. This term last, the expressions in the last terms, K1 J1 of t, K2 J2 of t, and K3 J2 of 3. So these are Gaussian white noises. This we added. That's why it is called added Gaussian white noise. So based on this Gaussian white noises, we have verified so how the system will behave within the short period of time. And see, these are anyhow. These are our given system of equations, and these are the Gaussian white noises. And see, based on this particular white noises, and the mean values based on this square mean values of the system, we verified the system is stable or not also. So this is what the perturbations. Again, we have taken the perturbation technique here. And this state derivatives dx by dt, dy by dt, dz by dt becomes in terms of the pattern rates du1 by dt and du2 by dt and du3 by dt, and substituting all these terms here, and finally using we can say that using Fourier transformations on both sides of these equations. So finally I will get this kind of expression, so that I have written in terms of the matrix representation. Our target is to know the mean square values or variance values of the given system. So I'm going towards to that by converting the given system into a simple manner. So here I have written that system in terms of the matrix notation, and see here, this is L of W, inverse of this particular matrix MW. This is nothing but the coefficients of the Gaussian white noise system. And see, this indicates the mean value of the given system at this particular point when time is going towards to infinity. And we are considering that particular nature of the system within the small neighborhood. You can see that W plus dW, smaller neighborhood. So like that, we have to see the density of the species in the smaller interval by following this particular mean values, and I can say the covariance of the system. So these are the statistical terms we have used to see the covariance, variances of the system, how it will fluctuate within the small period. So finally, I got these variances of the each and every species, Me1, Me2, and Me3 within the small period. Where these are the terms, expressions, you can say R square and I square. This occurs here that I have mentioned in the below. Where whatever the terms I have mentioned here, that I have again highlighted here, A1, A2, A3, all these are the terms in the variance, A1, B1, C1, C2. So you can see the terms what I have presented in that variances, and what these variables indicates, x1, x2, x3, and all like this. So finally, these variances are in terms of the variables what I stated previously. All these variables are all these x1, x2 in terms of the state variables only. Yeah, here we have verified the variances of the species that we can that I highlighted in the figures. You can say numerical solutions. So these are the variances of the species at different values of K1, K2, and K3. So finally, by following by giving some different values to whatever the variables involved in this particular variances equations, we can see the species behavior within a small period that I will highlight it in the end. So this is what one kind of traditional method to see how the species behavior in the nature within this small period of time, a small period of interval. And finally, this is numerical solutions. Actually, our equations are nonlinear, and every time we are unable to get the solution directly. So for that reason, some techniques, you can say some techniques we need to get the solutions of the system, means how the system is behaving in the nature. So far we have seen some traditional techniques, means because of that difficulty, means nonlinear difficulty, we avoided it by converting them in terms of the linear equations, means by using linearization technique. So there I already highlighted the powers of Me1, Me2, Me3 state that factor terms more than 2 or product of the terms also I avoided. Why? Because the system is going to be complicated if it is in nonlinear manner. So according to that, I discussed the nature of the system, means once it is a linear system, then it is easy for getting the solutions, and based on that, we have seen the nature of the system, how it behaves. So the problem is that the linearization technique will give the same results, will give the same results in terms of the nonlinear results also. So in the numerical system, by using MATLAB, I have verified this, whatever the analytical techniques I have discussed previously in this numerical simulations. In numerical simulation, in the sense, you can say OD 45 RK4000 method means that we can also apply for knowledge systems. So I have compared both whatever I obtained previously with these numerical techniques with the helping of computer computationals. So if both are matching, then our target is over. So that's why I have verified this, whatever the analytical results with my numerical solutions of the system by using this particular ODE method. See, I have given some particular values of the parameters in the given equation, like this R1 equal 0.5, 0.45, R equal. See, so this is nothing but the inserted growth rate of the first species X1 0.5, R1 0.45, the saturation rate, carrying capacity 1.9, alpha, this is a competitive coefficient of the first prey species 0.04, and beta 1, the saturation rate 0.09, sorry, the attacking rate beta 1, and S is the you can say the incident growth rate of the second prey species 0.25, L carrying capacity of the second species 1.4, delta the competitive coefficient of second prey 0.2, beta 2 the attacking rate of the first predator species beta naught. So like on the initial conditions, I have started with the taking all from 0, all from 5 only, all from 5. So at these values, you can see the equilibrium point. So the equilibrium point is going to be, see, all non-vanishing terms means it is a coexistent equilibrium point. So at coexistent equilibrium point, we have already verified that the system is going to be stable, not only locally, it is also stable globally. So that also we have verified by following the water conditions we have mentioned in that particular case of coexistent state. So at these values of the parameters, so the conditions is satisfied. At the same time, you can see that B1, B2, B3, and this B1, B2 minus B3 from Routh criteria, that also we verified there and previously. This is positive, and this term is also positive. And therefore, the theorem tells that this particular points, values of the parameters, the system is going to be stable locally. So this is the equilibrium point. So the corresponding graph is this. You can see that this is the corresponding graph at which you can see that this is going to be, if you take any point nearer to this, any initial point, then the graph will coming towards to that particular equilibrium point. So means what, at any point on this graph, you can take a slope. That slope is going to be negative in the sense the curve is going to be decreasing towards to this particular equilibrium point. So you can say that the system is stable. So that we have observed in the coexistent state case. And here also we can see the species with the time. When time is going to increasing, you can take more than 500 or 1000 also. You can see that after some time it is going to be, so initially the growth rates are like this, initially increasing, and then when time is going on, it is going to be decreasing. So after some time onwards, these lines are going towards to the equilibrium point. It means what, the system is going to be stable. So by seeing this particular time graphs also, we can say that the system is going to be stable when these are going towards to that particular equilibrium point when time goes on to some infinite level. So from this graph also, you can observe that particular stability nature, local stability nature. And Hooke bifurcation also we tested by taking some different values. So this theorem also we discussed previously. If this beta 2 star value, we can say it is a critical point. If the critical point is 0.9421, then at this critical point, you can say that the graph or you can say system is going to be stable. If it exceeds, if this beta value exceeds this particular point, then the graph is going to be unstable. So that also we verified. So based on the previous values what we have taken, at those points, the critical point is this one. So at this point, if beta 2 means what, whatever number you are going to take, other than this number, means what, dominating this number around the positive equilibrium point E6. Suppose I'm taking 0.9, 0.95 and 1.5, 2.5. I tested. I have not given the figures here. I tested, and here the graph is unstable. Means what, if you take any solution there, it is going to be positive. Means what, it is going away from that particular point. So that I tested. The solution of the system one has shown in the following figure. You can see that this is the Hope bifurcation according to these particular parametric values. R1. So these are the parametric values I have taken. So at this point I have taken my point is greater than my critical point. So if it is greater than the critical point, definitely the graph is going to be unstable. Unstable means at that particular point, right? One side it is stable. If it crosses, then it is going to be unstable. That I verified. If the point is greater than this critical point, you can see that here in the graph, we have a periodic solution. So periodic solutions means the graph is going to be never tending towards to any point. Periodic solutions occurs in this graph of 3 species time with respect to time. So there is no way of tending towards to any particular point. Therefore, it is going to be unstable. And here also you can see that if you take any point nearer to this particular, means somewhere we have an equilibrium point here. If you take any point nearer to this, then the solution is going away from that particular point, and so that the system is going to be unstable. So like that here, we can see the Hope bifurcation means what, one side it is stable, another side it is unstable. So that we can see by taking the points less than this and more than that. So from this figure, you can say that the system is having Hope bifurcation at that level. And the stochastic graphs also we have verified by taking the mean squares, or you can say variance of the particular parameter values. So at these values, you can see, I told you about this particular Gaussian white noises. These are the Gaussian white noises we added at those particular equations. And these are my initial values. And we can also see the auspicious behavior within the small period of time. You can say at this level 0 to 50, you can see that the fluctuations are more. The fluctuations are more means what? There is a chance of instability of the system. If the fluctuations are more, for the first, you can see that predator and prey species. Species 1, species 2 means the first two preys. Predator we have mentioned here in different colors. You can see that within the small period of time, the fluctuations are going to be very high, and therefore this is not going to be stable. And here also, you can take any value, it is going outside that equilibrium point. So therefore, this is my equilibrium point according to this particular parameter values. So here, see, it is not tending. You can see that there is a hole. So it means what, it is a cycle. So therefore, finally, it is going to be unstable. This is one graph with the high fluctuations, and this is another plot. You can see that. So by these parameter values, so this is the corresponding equilibrium point of the system. Of course, it is a coexistent equilibrium point. And here we have taken the Gaussian white noises like this, J1, J2, and J3. And these are the initial conditions. And these particular parametric values, we have verified the fluctuations, how it is. Now we can see in the graphical structure. So initially we have a big fluctuations. After some time, we can say after 50, there is the fluctuations are very normal, not that much. So that the system is going to be stable. So here also we can see the system is coming towards to that particular equilibrium point. So like that here, we can also see the dynamical nature of the given system by taking equilibrium points and following the stability analysis of the system. So finally, this tells that, so at some particular conditions of the parameter values, whatever involved in the equation, like this one, here, and by the conditions already we discussed in each and every stage. So by following those particular conditions of these parameter values and state variables, and definitely the system is going to be stable. Means what? There is a chance of survivalness in the system. Means what? Because of this predator So it will take, of course, the prey species, but there is a chance of surviving these two prey species as well as this predator species because of this beta naught. Means what? This death rate of this particular predator species is death rate is involved, right? This death rate is involved here, so that way there is a chance of adjusting the system a long run in the environment. Okay, so this is what finally these parameters will tell us the existence of the system in the nature by following particular analysis of this model. Means what? This stability analysis, local stability, global stability, and stochastic analysis. All these traditional methods tells us that the system will survive in the nature long run based on the resources available in the environment. So this is what my topic. And here you can also do some work based on this particular model what I have taken by involving, see here, I have considered only the positive derivatives of the given system. Here, only first integer, d power 1 x by dt power 1. Only the first, you can say, first derivative. Positive integers only I have taken in this model. So there is a lot of work going on now by taking fraction derivatives, that we can say fractional derivatives. So now the fractional derivative work is, you can see everywhere you can get the paper. Nowadays, a lot of work is going on by involving fractional derivatives of any kind of equations. You can say not only this particular ecological models, you can also say fluid models or any biological models or any kind of, you can say, economics, physics, all kinds of models are now they are doing with taking fractional derivatives, and the fractional derivatives will give a good analysis how the system will behave when the fraction the derivative of that particular term coming towards from fraction to integer. So this is also gives a very beautiful work if you involve fractional derivatives in this particular model. And not only that, some I have observed some papers in the internet. So many are doing the stochastic analytical part by considering neural network analysis. So involving neural network analysis also, here they are observing the exact, you can say, very best solutions, best approximation solutions based on the neural network. See, you can say interior point algorithm in neural network and Lavenberg backward algorithm. So there are 5 to 6 different kinds of algorithms are available to see the behavior of the system, or you can say you can go for exact solutions, almost all exact solutions to the system by following neural networks. So these are two areas now going on very fastly. One is a fractional derivative method, and another one is neural network techniques. So using that, we can do good work in future. So that is what my suggestion. If anybody interested, you can follow that. I'm also doing those kind of techniques now. So if possible, we'll see in the next time. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all for participating and giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for elaborating explanation about the dynamic behavior, a 3-species ecosystem consisting of 2 competitive pre's and the predictor with polling type 2 functional response. Anybody wants any questions? Any queries, please? Any queries, ma? Okay, I think no, all are having a very good idea for this newcomers of the researchers, sir, because of we are given the elaborate explanation how to build the conditions and how to create the equations, how to modeling as response, all these. Thank you very much, sir, for a spellbinding lecture. Now I request Sridhar Babu, sir, one of the co-convener of the today's workshop, to give vote of thanks of the function.
Okay.
Good afternoon, one and all. There is one quote: "The smallest act of kindness is worth more than the grandest intention." I'm very much privileged to propose a vote of thanks on this first day of one week virtual international lecture workshop on new advances in mathematical and computational sciences, organized by Department of Applied Mathematics, Yogi Yamuna University, Kadapa. On behalf of organizing committee of this workshop, I profusely thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor and Chief Guest of today's first day workshop, Professor M. Surya Kalavati Madam Garu, for her gracious presence in spite of her busy schedule and encouraging us to organize this workshop, and also a wonderful message to the participants. Thank you very much, Madam. I thank sincerely the distinguished Registrar, Professor D. Vijayaragha Prasad Garu, for his cordial presence and inspiring speech, which enlightened the participants, for giving permission to arrange this workshop and providing all the facilities from the IETN network team. Thank you, sir. I warm sincere appreciation, thanks to respected principal of YV College, Professor P. Chandramati Shankar Garu, for his gracious presence and thought-provoking remarks on this program in spite of our busy schedule. Thank you, Madam. I am very much grateful to our beloved Vice Principal of YV College, Professor S. Raghunath Reddy Garu, for his gracious presence and sharing his valuable experiences with the audience. Thank you, sir. A special thanks to Professor T. Vasanthi Madam, Head of the Department of Applied Mathematics, who is the chairperson of this workshop, for her kind consent in the organizing of this workshop. Thank you, Madam. I am very much conveyed my deep sense of gratitude and appreciation on this occasion to the distinguished speakers of the state speaker, Dr. N. Shashikar Rao, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, School of Applied Natural Science, Adama Science of Technology, Adama, Ethiopia, in spite of his busy schedule and accepting our request with our phone call only. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I must mention my gratitude to the speakers, Dr. Raja Das, Vittu Velur, Rizwana Ulak Shetty, Pakistan, Professor E. Kesav Reddy, JNTU Hyderabad, Dr. V. Preeta, Tamil Nadu, Professor S. Srinivas, Vittu Amaravati, for accepting our invitation to the grace of the workshop. I thank all the organizing committee and my colleagues from the department, different departments of IVU, who has been involved in this particular exercise for last few days. I thank all the YVU technical team, particularly Professor Nazir Ahmad sir, for organizing this webinar. I would be failing in my duty if I do not convey my thanks to the print and electronic media for the efforts they are taking for coverage of the event. Finally, the research scholars and wonderful students who have turned up with us in such a great number, not only from our department, but also from other departments of the college. We thank you so much for this cooperation. Once again, thank you for all giving me this opportunity. I wish you all have a nice day, and we will meet tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. sharp. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, madam.
Participants, please kindly fill your feedback. Tomorrow we'll give the YouTube link also. Thank you for your patience listening all. Thank you, ma. Once again, thank you.
Madam,
Thank you,
can I
sir.
leave?
Okay, sir. You can leave, sir.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
dear participants, now we close this session. Tomorrow we'll meet at 2:30 sharply. Thank you, one and all.